Hi everyone, welcome back to Learning with Louka, and today we're doing the second letter of our Learning Future alphabet, the letter B. And B for us here stands for belonging. And it's one of these key principles in any optimal learning or work environment is a sense of belonging. And it is absolutely a sense. It's a feeling. It's this experience of being able to be yourself, to be accepted, valued, celebrated even for who you are, what you know, what you can do, what you bring, and also be able to develop within groups with whom you resonate in terms of the multiple identity factors that we all hold in our very vivid and diverse lives. But here's the challenge, of course, and the question is really, where do you belong the most? And what is your current sense of belonging in these different spaces or in your life generally? Tragically, we have this crisis of belonging right now. 1 in 5 Americans actually say that they have chronic loneliness. In Australia, there are 5 million Australians that are impacted by loneliness at any given time. 37% of young people say that they feel lonely often. And actually, if you have this sense of loneliness, you're 26% more likely to die. And the reason for that, as many people speak about, including Professor Geoffrey Cohen, who wrote the book Belonging, is that a sense of othering or a sense of loneliness is one of the greatest factors for all-cause mortality. You're more likely to die if you feel lonely. And that's because it's equivalent to smoking a pack of cigarettes every single day. So the key question then for us in our leadership journeys, in our roles as change makers or as educators or leaders is how are we cultivating, how are we designing for belonging? Which is a wonderful question that actually a colleague of mine, Dr. Susie writes about in her book, Design for Belonging, part of the Stanford D-School Guides. And we had Susie and many of the other team on a previous podcast series. So this idea is, how do you do that? Well, we need to understand the core of relationships. Great rule is know one thing. Do you know one thing about the people in your life? And that of course will build a strong student-teacher relationship. It'll build a strong peer relationship within a company. The second idea about belonging is the idea of energy, or positive energy network theory, which comes from Professor Kim Cameron, which is, it's not just so much, who's talking or who's in the position of power. It's who is kind of a key energy transfer node in any organization. And so these are the positive energizers. And of course, when you feel positive energized, you feel seen, you feel valued, and guess what? You feel that sense of belonging. And the final thing I want to finish on, because these are bite-sized insights, supposedly, is the friendship formula that I came across by Jack Schafer, who actually was a former FBI agent, used a lot about human behavior. And he talks about 4 things in the way that we cultivate our friendships and choose our friendships in life. And they are proximity, frequency, duration, and intimacy, that is depth. And those 4 things actually are all required for us to create really strong and enduring friendships in our lives. So that's belonging. That's our second bite-sized insight for Learning with Louka as we continue forward at the moment on the A to Z.